This is Strawberry Kurosaki. Well, his name is actually Ichigo, but it means the same thing. Strawberry is your everyday run-of-the-mill high schooler. Oh, I forgot he can see ghosts. Woo. Strawberry has a normal life, except for that whole seeing ghosts thing that surely isn't going to change his life soon. Strawberry starts his day by beating up his dad. Don't worry, this is normal. Going to school, punching his friend, again, this is normal. He gets home and chills in his room, but then a strange girl comes in his room looking for something. Strawberry kicks her and they have a chat. Wait, you can see me? What are you doing in my room? She tells him that she's a soul reaper and she's on a mission to kill a hollow. They are bad ghosts. Rukia ties Ichigo with her soul reaper powers. She goes outside to fight the hollow. Strawberry breaks out of her powers and also goes outside. Strawberry is mad because the hollow hurt his sister. Rukia is defeated and Strawberry tries to help her, but his too weak. Rukia stabs him. Don't worry, it's to make him strong. Rukia tries to give Strawberry half of her spiritual pressure, Soul Reaper energy, but Strawberry takes all her spiritual pressure. Yeah, he's greedy. He gets forced out of his body, and he has Soul Reaper clothes and a big sword. He defeats the hollow and the day is saved. Now everything can go back to normal. I'm gonna live in your closet now. What? You see, I can't go home because you took all my energy. What? Oh, and you'll have to do my job now. What? Rukia goes to Ichigo's school, and Ichigo kills hollows. Days later, Ichigo and this weird guy with glass and a bow has a little contest. Ichigo defeats a Menos Grande. It's a really big hollow. Ichigo and Glass are now friends. Ichigo is also friends with Chad, Orihime, Tomboy, this guy, and a living doll. Rukia's brother comes to the living world with Renji to fetch Rukia. Ichigo tries to stop them, but gets knocked down by Renji. He gets up and is about to kill Renji, but gets one tapped by Rukia's brother, his Byakuya. They leave with Rukia, and Ichigo is saved by a weird guy with a hat. The trains Ichigo and help him find out his sword name. His sword changes and is about to go to the Soul Society. It's basically heaven. But wait, his friends are here. They all train too and are stronger. Chad has a new black arm, Orihime has new hair accessories, and Glasses has a glove. Oh yeah, a talking cat is going with them. The cat's name is Yoruichi. In the Soul Society, Rukia is guilty for staying away from home and is going to be executed. Renji is mad, but Byakuya is like, nah, it is what it is. The weird guy with the hat, his name is Urahara, opens a tunnel to the Soul Society. The group enters the tunnel and gets chased by the cleaner. They land outside the Seraita. Ichigo fights this big guy and wins. The big guy opens the gate to the Seraita, but get injured by a white hair captain. They are strong. Now they need a new way of getting into the Seraita, but how? These siblings blast the group out of a cannon in a ball, and they penetrate the Seraita's dome. The ball pops and they get slip up. Ichigo is alone and Sandguy is alone. Glasses is with Orihime. Chad is alone and Yoruichi is alone. Ichigo runs into this bald guy and they fight. Ichigo wins. Sandguy fights Femboy and wins. Sandguy kidnaps this kid, his Chill. Sandguy runs into Ichigo and they argue for a bit. Chill Kid helps Ichigo and Sandguy move through sewers and tells them where to find Rukia. Renji finds them and fights Ichigo. Renji loses. Ichigo runs into Kenpachi, a captain. They fight. Kenpachi lets Ichigo cut him, no damage. Ichigo gets scared. Ichigo's sword breaks. He runs away. He stops being a scaredy cat. He wins but is injured and lays on the floor. Sandguy and Chill Kid goes to rescue Rikua but runs into Byakuya. Ichigo gets saved by Yoruichi, and he has a mask on him, totally not a foreshadowing. Turns out Yoruichi is a girl. Ichigo goes to help Sandguy and blocks Byakuya's attack. But he's not strong enough to win. He gets saved by Yoruichi, and Byakuya gets PTSD. Ichigo trains for Bankai, a technique that takes normal Soul Reaper 100s of years to learn. He gets it in 2 days. MC logic. By the way, Glasses won a captain, and Chad lost to a captain. They're both in jail along with Sandguy. Kenpachi breaks them out of jail and fights 2 captains and 2 lieutenants. Rukia is about to get executed, but Ichigo steps in blocking a big bird and saves her, throwing her at Renji. There are friends now. Ichigo then one-taps 3 lieutenants and has another rematch with Byakuya, showing off his Bankai and hollow mask, defeating him. He then fights Aizen, who stops Ichigo's attack and theme music, and violates Ichigo. Aizen penetrates Rukia's chest and takes out a diamond or marble-looking thing. Aizen leaves with a blind captain and the white-haired captain. Ichigo gets named a substitute Soul Reaper and the group goes back home Rukia is not guilty anymore. Let me just skip this trash. So sometime after the group returned home, while Ichigo was killing a hollow, a guy with a hollow mask and grills asked Ichigo to join his group called Vizards, his Shinji. Ichigo is like, nah, I'd pass, and leaves. Meanwhile, Kon in Ichigo's body is about to die to this hairy hollow with a face, but he gets saved by Ichigo's dad, a Soul Reaper? Yeah, that makes sense. You remember him, right? Yup, his back. Aizen sent these hollows, their Arrancars, to Karakura Town to measure Ichigo's strength. Wait, what happened to these hollows? Oh, so that marble-looking thing that Aizen removed from Rukia has the power to grant wishes. Makes sense? One of the Arrancars starts sucking the life out of every human nearby. Chad attacks the Arrancars but gets bodied. Ichigo spawns in and is ready to fight, but he has some relationship issues with his hollow, and he also gets bodied. Urahara and Yoruichi show up to rescue Ichigo and friends, and the Arrancars retreat. Ichigo cries in his bed, and Soul Reapers come to visit. Yo man, you crying? Huh, no, there's something in my eye. After Ichigo kicks them out of his house, they look for places to crash. Later that night, some Arrancars show up. Ichigo gets bodied again, but the Arrancars, except Tiger, gets defeated. Oh, and Baldy had a Bankai. Ichigo goes to the Vizard's hideout and does what? That's right, he trains, talks with his inner Hollow White, almost gets killed, wins and trains some more. BTW, Aizen wants to make a key that opens the Soul King's house, who is basically God. And he needs to destroy Karakura Town for some reason. Orihime gets kidnapped, the group gets together to go through a portal and rescue her, just like old times. Ichigo, Glasses, and Chad enter the portal. They fight weak Arrancars, make friends with nice Arrancars, and Rukia and Renji join the group. The group splits up, and each defeat a former Espada member. The Espada are the strongest Arrancars. The group then all faces a member of the current Espada and gets bodied. Ichigo gets healed by Orihime and fights Grimmjow. Their fight goes something like this. I win. No, I win. No, I win. You get the idea? Ichigo eventually wins but gets bodied by Espada number 5. However, Nell, one of his nice Arrancar friends, was actually a member of the former Espada, and after she regained her powers, she claps Neutra until she doesn't. Ichigo get bodied again. Just kidding, captains show up and save the group. After Ichigo is healed, he fights Ulquiorra. The fight is in Ulquiorra's favor until Orihime screams. Ichigo turns into a Mexican devil and wins. Aizen and his gang pull up on Karakura Town, and they're met by the captains and lieutenants of the Gotei 13. The town they're about to fight on is a fake. Then an arc of flashbacks happen. The Vizards were members of the Gotei 13. Aizen was that first mask guy's lieutenant. Urahara was a captain. Aizen is a bad guy, you get the gist of it. All the Arrancars that are not Espada get clapped. The fights with Espada members are fought, and Aizen is left alone with White Hair Captain. Blind Captain got turned into an Arrancar and can see. He went crazy and got killed by 6ix9ine. Ichigo is sent to the battlefield with the help of Unohana and Kuratsuchi. Ichigo is told that he is the only one who can defeat Aizen, because he hasn't seen Aizen's Shikai. Wait, why didn't he just activate his Shikai so that Ichigo could see it in the Soul Society arc? Oh yeah, he's the MC. The captains attack each other because of Aizen's powers, and when Yamamoto is about to fight Aizen, he has to babysit this special kid. After the special kid is defeated, he pulls a Vegeta. But Yamamoto covered the explosion with his body. Ichigo faces up against Aizen, and Aizen reveals that he is one with the marble. Aizen then hit Ichigo with some emotional manipulator damage, and tells Ichigo, "It was all part of my plan." Ichigo's dad saves him from the emotional damage, and they fight, Aizen and White Hair respectively. Urahara and Yoruichi join the fight, but Aizen is him, and leaves for the real Karakura Town with White Hair. Aizen kills the cleaner just to flex. When Ichigo and his dad make it to the tunnel, they decide to train. Turns out White Hair was actually a good guy, and he was trying to find a way to kill Aizen. He fails and gets wasted. Before Aizen can kill Ichigo's friends, Dangai Ichigo spawns in and grabs Aizen by the face and moves him to a different location. They fight, and even though Aizen is still evolving, Ichigo bodies all of his forms. In the end, they are in their finale forms, and Ichigo uses his final Getsuga Tensho, greatly weakening Aizen. Urahara pops in to seal Aizen, and Ichigo loses his Soul Reaper powers. He says his finally goodbye to Rukia and thanks her for being a friend. Sometime later, he meets the first substitute Soul Reaper and the Fullbringers. They awaken Ichigo Fullbring powers. His Fullbring powers get stolen. Rukia stabs him. Nice reference, returning his Soul Reaper powers now imbued with Fullbring, and Ichigo defeats the first substitute Soul Reaper. And that was Bleach in a nutshell. Thanks for watching. Also, if you want to know who'll win in a fight between the Akatsuki and Espada, then watch this video and subscribe for more.